to Katrina's Creations. This is our Wednesday episode, and today is going to be kind of a little fun video. Over the weekend, Dave and I went out to Ohio just for a short little trip to visit our son and daughter-in-law and our 4 grandchildren that live out there. So if you noticed on Saturday I didn't reply to any comments until Sunday, that was why we weren't home. So anyway, while we were on our way there, we decided to break up the drive a little bit by going to a little village. It's called Historic Roscoe Village, and it is a canal town that was built somewhere in the early 1800s. The canals ran in that area from the 1820s or 30s all the way up until 1911, I think they said, when there was a flood that pretty much destroyed all of the canal areas. So there's only a few locks still standing as part of the canal system that is right there. It is part of the Ohio Erie Canal System. And the town itself was involved with the Underground Railroad. There were quite a few people who lived in the town that actually would help runaway slaves they would hide them and then take them across the Muskingum River, which is nearby, where they would stay at a place called Hanging Rock, and they would hide out there until the next person could pick them up and get them to the next leg of their flight for freedom. So that part was interesting, but there also was an earlier story that went with this village that I thought was kind of interesting. The main road that runs through the town is called White Woman Street. So I asked the museum or visitor center lady, I said, now I know there's got to be a story with this. And she said, yes. Actually, back in 1704, there was a young girl. Her name was Mary Harris, and she lived in Deerfield, Massachusetts. And their village of Deerfield was raided by Mohawk Indians and French soldiers, and most of the town was pretty much wiped out. There was about 100 people who were taken captive, and this little girl was one of them. And they walked 300 miles to Canada. And once they were in Canada, this little girl was adopted by a Mohawk Christian tribe. And so she was, I guess, raised there. She married into the tribe and had children. And so she and her husband and her family moved to the area that is now Roscoe Village. But that was the village that they lived in. And so in the early 1700s, when trappers would come through the area, or the first explorers came in that far west, they were very surprised to see a white woman there. And so she was, they think, the very first white woman to come that far past the Ohio River. So anyway, that was how it has gotten the name of White Woman Street. It is based off of this woman who was named Mary Harris. And at the time when other people discovered she was there, she was in her 50s at that point. It was during the French and Indian War that as people were moving further out west, that they ran across her and heard the story of what had happened to her. So she spent all of her life with the Mohawk people, and she could speak English and French as well. So, it was kind of an interesting story. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a background before you see the video of all the different spots in the village. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye, everybody. This is the Catoctin State Park, and right over top of the hill over here, if you aren't getting car sick, is Camp David, which is where the president has like a retreat area. It used to be called Camp Shangri-La, and then it was renamed Camp David by President Eisenhower when his grandson David Eisenhower was born. But the funny part is the Eisenhowers live not too far away in Gettysburg. That's where their farm was at. So I'm not sure how much they actually used Camp David, but it's just over the hill. This is a canal boat here, and the green stuff is actually the canal. It's covered with algae. Also smells a little bit, but that is a canal boat, and we're going to be walking along a path that takes you past some locks and up to old historic Roscoe village, which was a canal town, and they also had they were also known for the Underground Railroad, and there were several people there that would actually help them to cross the Muskegon River and get to safety from there. So we're going to show you when we get to the Muskegon River.